Hello and welcome back to the Creativity Broadcast. I'm your host, Laura, and I'm here to do another collective creativity reading. This is a reading for you if you are a creative person, if you are interested in growing your relationship with your creative spirit, or if you're working on a particular project that you feel you are partnering with and growing with. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And release. Remembering as I'm moving through this reading that this is all in deference to you and your intuition, all right? This is meant to be a source of support. Nothing else. Okay, I'm noticing as I'm feeling into this energy, I'm having like a lot of tension in the center of my chest. Which can either be nerves or I'm getting this sort of sense of like a constriction in the heart center, perhaps in response to an expansion in the heart center. Let's see. And I'm supposed to remind all of us right now that this reading is especially for those of us who are creative and perhaps somewhat sensitive to the changing energies around us. Yeah, that's what I'm getting is like this constriction. Interesting. Let's start today with Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. One of my favorites. As a lot of you know, I like to use the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck to do what Kim Krans recommends as the year ahead spread. And so you kind of choose a card, overarching card for the year, and then you also choose, you select a card for each month of the year. And for me, it's just been like, it's kind of wonderful grounding guidance. And I'm exiting a month of mouse and I'm entering a month of lion. So send me some good vibes. Give me that lion energy. All right, let's go ahead and ask for some specificity about the overarching message for us for today's reading. Hope y'all are doing really well. As of recording this, daylight savings just switched over. It's November, and man, I'm really feeling the need to switch up some routines to empower the darkness. Happened so quick. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? What do we have? What else do I have? I'm also, this is so weird, but I've also been getting a nudge for today's reading to share with all of you that I attended Shepard Middle School in Durham, North Carolina. And I don't know if that's because maybe I have some Shepard alums watching this channel. And if so, hi. But also, sometimes when I do readings, I get these sort of flashes from my bus route to Shepard. I don't know why. Very interesting. I have some theories, but I don't really know what they're about. Okay, so we've got 3. Is there another? Yeah. All right, let's see what these are. Oh, shoot. Okay, we have fish, firefly, golden egg, and sea serpent. Jeez. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Talk about a bounty. This is here in autumn. We kind of talk about autumn like it's harvest season. I feel like we just received like a giant harvest basket from Animal Spirit deck. Okay. So I'm not sure what order they came in, but intuitively they're kind of fanning out like this. So we're just going to go like this. Okay. Fish. So we're starting with this water sign, and we've also got the moon here. I don't know that I've really played much with the fish card in this deck, so I'm going to have to read about it. But intuitively, what's coming to me is this feeling of like swimming with the current. Also, the fact that it's kind of, we've got a fish and we also have the moon. It's kind of double water energy. For me personally, my moon is in Cancer, which is also a water sign. And this always makes me think of how in dream imagery and a lot of dream interpretation, it's said that water can represent our emotions and our emotional life. And at the same time, I think fish also has a bit of like a playful energy. So I'm kind of getting the energy of like swim with the current, like jump in and keep going. And then we have Firefly, and Firefly, this is sort of making me giggle because first of all, look how cute little Firefly is. Look. He's just so like, I'm bright, but I'm little. And Firefly also came up this morning in the channel that I watch for readings. And so I'm feeling kind of winked at right now. And it's always kind of fun. So Firefly energy is a little spark. It's a little burst of inspiration. And it also can be very fleeting because it gets scared very easily and can flit away. And so Firefly, I'm feeling very strongly that we're supposed to jump into a current. You'll have to tell me what that means for you. You're supposed to jump in, and it's probably an energy of soul connection, some kind of emotional security, and you're supposed to not let it go out. So it's kind of about like jumping on this energy right now. Golden egg, here we are with the heart space, the heart chakra. Golden egg is about the unstruck sound. It's kind of about like the experience where we haven't yet had in our heart space. So this is really so crazy, that kind of like heart constriction I was getting at the beginning. The golden egg is really about connecting to what's here in our hearts that's asking to be opened and asking to be listened to. And it's also about a great treasure and a great bounty. And Sea Serpent, what a fun one to get. Sea Serpent is all about creative expression, creative energy, that second chakra, creative alchemy. So I'm kind of getting that the overarching message here is like you are, you're supposed to follow a particular current. It might feel emotional and it might feel a little bit like you're getting swept away, but it's on the right track. You are supposed to follow it. Don't let the little light go out, and keep your little wings going. This is also about expanding in your heart. So it might be about receiving love or giving love in a different way. And it's also an act of immense creativity. Sea Serpent is also leadership energy. Okay, so this, I just talked a lot. Let's see what the guidebook has to say. And we're going to do something a little bit different today, which is I'm going to pick my next set of cards. We're going to do one clarifying card for each of those four, and let's just see what happens. All right. Fish. Where are you, fish? Fish. Okay. It says restlessness, change of focus, lost in the current. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. When in balance, adaptable, travels well. Oh, that's fun. When out of balance, distracted, changes mind often. Okay, so that's where we got like the Firefly energy there. To bring into balance, set a small goal and accomplish it. Okay, so what I'm getting with this one is that, so the timbre of this reading is a little bit like, I don't want to say negative, but it's a little bit like loving to move and try different things. And what I'm getting for this is that you'll actually be supported by stopping to create some specific goals for where you want to go. Maybe the current has actually been teaching you quite a lot. Maybe you've been a little bit of like a fish tourist in the river and you've seen a lot of different possibilities. And now it's actually time to make a couple of choices. But the fact that the moon is involved in this also says this isn't necessarily about like overly structured, overly masculine ways of accomplishing the goals. I think this is about really leaning into our heart, leaning into our intuition, and letting our emotions and our heart's desire, like the thing we really want to experience, help us create those goals. So a good action item right here would be, what have I learned about where I want to go next? And what are a couple of small goals that I can create that will move me in that direction so that I don't slip and slide all over the place? Thank you, fish. Well, that's nice. Okay, next we're going to go to Firefly. Okay, actually, I'm going to go ahead, before we go to Firefly, we're going to spend a little bit more time with fish, just to get a little bit more clarity. And I'm thinking this is Sacred Destiny. Okay, Sacred Destiny. So, yeah, give us a little bit more clarification on this fish reading. What is it you really want us to know or understand? Freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Look at this bird. Ah, swallow. We get this card a lot on this channel. I'm thinking that like part of the creative collective on this channel is about creating freedom. If that resonates, leave me a comment. Okay, let's see. Freedom, the cliff swallow. The swallow flies free on wind currents. Again, that's sort of like soaring energy, similar to the fish. The swallow flies free on wind currents and thermals in remarkable aerial maneuvers, igniting the expression as free as a bird. In many cultures, such as that of ancient Egyptians, the swallow was thought to carry souls to heaven. Early sailors would tattoo themselves with an image of a swallow, so that if they drowned, the swallow would carry their soul to the heavens. In poor light, a cliff swallow looks brownish gray. However, in good lighting, it is a luminous metallic dark blue. Cliff swallows, sorry, I just love that. They're like, even swallows have to find their light. That's so funny. Okay, cliff swallows traditionally make their nests on vertical cliffs, carefully crafting them out of mud. Although they can nest solitarily, they usually nest in colonies. Okay, let's see. Even though they fly free, their community supports them. Express yourself without hesitation. Break free and let your spirit fly. Make choices that increase your freedom. Don't be tied down. Laugh, dance, explore. Go beyond predictable behavior. Be daring. Cast aside restrictions. Find your wings. As you do, you'll help others find theirs. Yeah, it basically is like let go of people pleasing, let go of convention. And you actually, I think this is like a very clear message that this vision or this next set of goals that is leading you more toward a heart fulfillment really can be trusted, and you should kind of just run straight to it. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay. All right. Let's go next to our second overarching message today of the Firefly. Inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. The Firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high-frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the Firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is Firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, creates, writes, brainstorms. When out of balance, burnt out, or feels dull. To bring into balance, write a poem or draw. Wow. So I want to draw our attention to something here, which is that the action item here to bring Firefly energy into balance is to create something, to write a poem or to draw. And what this suggests is that you can actually break the spell of the Firefly by choice. That sort of feeling of fleeting inspiration, you can actually summon your inspiration. You can summon your creative power by taking some action to create something. I love Firefly. Love, love, love. Okay, so I think let's get some clarification on the Firefly message, and we'll go back to Sacred Destiny here. Actually, I'm getting, instead it's Woodland Wardens. Yeah, let's use Woodland Wardens here. Okay, so just some further clarification on Firefly energy. What do you want us to know? And I'm just going to ask it to jump out. Oh, there it is. The otter and the cattail. Peace. Oh my goodness, the otter. I always get so excited when otters show up in readings because they're just such joyous little creatures. Aren't they so sweet and lovely? Otter and a cattail. Look, he's just floating along. Again with the water. And the message is peace here. Sorry, just want to make sure you can see it and see my face. So the first thing that comes to me with this is the Firefly is kind of like the guard at the gate, like the sentinel of your creativity. And Otter and Cattail is actually saying that a place where you can actually feel at home is swimming in the current of your creativity. What if that level of pleasure, activity, like really being in your creative flow is a place where you also feel peace? Like they might actually be the same. Wow. Okay, let's see what Jessica has to say about this. Okay, XX, XIX. That's 39, right? Okay, let's see. XXX. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I'm right. Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's see. The otter glides through the water with grace and fluidity. A beautiful sight to behold. The otter's playful swim brings calm and joy to those who witness it. The cattail is a symbol of peace and prosperity. It can be used for a variety of domestic purposes, from basket weaving and bedding to home insulation. It is also a nourishing food. Okay, you're entering a time of peace and tranquility. Allow it and enjoy it. Relax fully. Do I allow myself to enjoy peace when it finds me? Am I struggling needlessly against a strong current? That's so great. It also says, like, if the card comes up reversed, as you navigate a difficult time, remember that your discomfort is temporary. Limit your struggle by going with the flow. Turn onto your back from time to time, letting the current carry you forward. Yeah, so this is definitely like, if there's effort, if there's creative effort, the point is that you enjoy it and go with the flow. Wow. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. All right, let's go next to Golden Egg. This is like, the energy of this reading is so sweet and encouraging. It's almost like it's saying, hey, if you've been wanting to let go of some burdensome energy, it's actually okay to do it. That's wonderful. Okay, so next we're going to go to Golden Egg. Love a golden egg. Message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard, nor the message discerned, until we retreat from the noise of modern day life. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga nidra or meditation. I talk about yoga nidra on this channel literally all the time. At the Falling In retreat, I forced people to do yoga nidra with me. It's the most wonderful. In fact, when you're practicing yoga nidra, you're kind of like this golden egg, like you sort of nestle in. Anyway. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may swell like you are seeing an old friend that's been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you. And look at this drawing. It's so sweet. Golden egg in the 4th chakra. Okay, this is the heart space. The subtle essence of the golden egg is nestled deep within the heart center at the 4th chakra. This chakra, called Anahata, is the home of the self or the soul. By bringing the mind into this center, we discover a portal to the most intimate and luminous space. It is said our inner guide sits there in deep meditation, waiting for us. Anahata translates as the unstruck sound. Wow. This is also, the heart space is the energy center for autumn, for the time of year that we're in at the time of recording this. Though if you're finding this later, it's supposed to come now. I'm just drawing this thread together because of the beautiful synchronicity of it. So much of this time of year is about what we're able to give and receive, and also expanding the resonance of our heart. That's lovely. That's awesome. I think for some clarification on this one, this is a Sacred Rebels one. Let's see. This is so fun. We're hitting so many different types of conversation with this. You guys have to say hi to Pandora. She's my card for the week. I always get a little scared when she shows up. One of my favorite times I ever pulled Pandora was right before Bay and I were meeting up for one of our theme park adventures. And I was like, I think that was the one when I fell in love with roller coasters, like really like started to fall in love. So talk about a freaking mythical, crazy gift. All right, let's see. Okay, Sacred Rebels, what do you want us to know about the golden egg energy? I'm just waiting for it to jump out at me, reveal itself. Is this it? Yeah. What is it? Oh, faith in the process. Yeah. It seems right. I want to acknowledge this card has a very somber tone. It's in black and white. The person in it is literally kneeling in what looks like a wheelbarrow and praying, almost like, please, 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 please work out. And then we have these little birds that are here to say, hey, have faith. That's also from yesterday for some reason. I was thinking about the album Rhythm of the Pride Lands. If you know what I'm talking about, please leave a comment so I don't feel so alone and crazy. Rhythm of the Pride Lands was this companion album that came out with The Lion King in the 90s. And I think that a lot of those songs actually became part of the Broadway musical. But anyway, have faith is a thing that gets whispered in He Lives in You. Have faith. It's what's coming up. Okay, let's see. No matter how powerful we are, how much courage and strength we have, there are times when we can't quite move ourselves along to the next phase of life or creative exploration. At some times, we need some divine intervention, a little help in pulling our trolley along, so to speak. When we are at the edge of our own limits and have no more personal resources, we might be left with only one spiritual power, that of faith. And fortunately, that is enough. So what I want to say about this, just right off the bat, is this is coming with the golden egg. And what I'm getting is that this is, especially if that thing about resources resonated with you, this is about kind of allowing your heart expansion to be a new conversation about resources. So it's maybe not necessarily tangible resources. It may be like this entirely different context opening itself because you're expanding in your heart space. And faith in the process 32, that breaks down to a 5, which is about halfway through a journey. So when you're about halfway through something, consider what that's like. You are probably like having to let go of some ways that you thought it would go achieving something. You might be looking for new tools because you're really deep in the process and realizing like, oh, I set out prepared for journey ABC. And now that I'm on the journey, I realize I actually need tools for XYZ. And so there's a little bit of like a recalibration. And these two coming together suggest very strongly that this conversation about your personal unstruck sound, the expansion of your heart, is probably going to provide like the quantum leap that you're actually looking for. And it will probably feel kind of off and risky, but that's what faith is about, baby. All right, let's see what else we have. Faith in the process. Okay. As unlikely as it may seem, the invisible help from the universe is often more powerful than the physical efforts of 1,000 men. That is because the invisible help is not limited by physical laws. It can shift, bend, and move in ways that defy limitation. That's what I'm saying. So this is really about like a different, sort of like a different matrix kind of downloading from this particular expansion. It's kind of like when you start to open up to divine feminine in your creative life and your leadership. It's kind of part of how big changes seem to happen very quickly after nothing for a very long period of time because that energetic work is getting done. Okay. It can affect, evoke, and influence situations through invisible but undeniably persuasive means. You are in a situation where you cannot set right the course of events all by yourself. This is not an indication that you have done something wrong, nor does this suggest that you are not strong enough. It is a sign that there is something bigger unfolding in your life, and your willpower will be supplemented by the power of life itself. Sometimes a bigger plan needs to manifest for the benefit of humanity and the earth. You need to shift your perspective to realize that you are part of the greater unfoldment of life, that your individual life serves the greater plan, and that you are not separate from its genius. This is what is happening now. And then it says, this is a time for humility and trust. You need complete faith in the processes and events that are happening. Yeah, so this is very much, again, kind of doubling down on this message of like your heart space expanding. This is probably part of like a life purpose thing for you. And you're really feeling like a strong expansion in your heart. It's taking you somewhere that is, it's a place you're supposed to go. And I think it's also important for you to know that it's not just for you. It's got a bigger purpose. And isn't that freaking awesome? Okay, let's talk about Sea Serpent a little bit. Again, Sea Serpent with this sort of like bigger picture conversation. Sea Serpent is in the Animal Spirit deck. Similar to Golden Egg, it's also in the Suit of Spirit. So these are kind of big picture spiritual growth conversations. It's pretty cool that we got two at once. I kind of see them operating together. Like we have the unstruck sound here at our heart space, and we had the sea serpent kind of holding us as we move forward with it, almost in protection, much like the image. Crazy. All right, sea serpent, let's talk to you. Okay, sea serpent. Healing emotional wounds, expressing desires. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression. Whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire, the sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. Again, the theme of just like going with the current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease, and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment, and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. And I want to draw our attention to the fact that this card draws a parallel between our desire and our true nature. That's for someone that's supposed to be heard right now. The sea serpent and the second chakra. The subtle energy of the sea serpent occupies the area of the I'd have never encountered this word before. Svadhisthana chakra. Svadhisthana. Did I say that right? Located deep within the pelvic bowl, the chakra is known as our center of creativity and desire, and is associated with the water element. Okay, this translates as in her own abode, indicating the chakra is the home of the Divine Mother, or Kundalini herself. Yeah, so bringing it all the way back. This conversation about water, about flowing with the currents, about our creativity, our desire, our expression, and also that thing of being at home in your creative flow, in your desire. I want to know this phrase, being at home in your desire. What does that mean to you? That's supposed to come through here. Dang, that's really cool. It's so cool. All right, for this one, we're going to check with Wisdom of Avalon. All right, Wisdom of Avalon, what do you want us to know more specifically about the sea serpent conversation? Just going to shuffle and wait for it to jump out. Okay, I just dropped a ton on the floor. That didn't work. Oh, there we go. Oh, God. Truth. Literally jumped out, fell on the floor. Oh my God. Sacred Journey Marker, 51. Okay, wow. Look at this. This is wild. We've got the water, like the current going, and the bridge. Just looking at that image is making me feel so calm and like I'm in a cool stream. Okay. Truth in word and deed is what is required of you by drawing this marker. As well as resonating with your own personal truth, it's important now to also demand the same from others. In every person, there's a vibrational energy that's accessible by slowing down and searching within to inquire, is this real? Am I hearing truth from another, or is it a lie? Am I speaking honestly myself, or am I lying to manipulate circumstances to get what I want? Remember, even a white lie will cause your light to fade and lose power. Yeah, so this is, again, very clear about connecting with the things that you truly desire. What's going to get that second chakra moving for you, and finding yourself willing to be honest with yourself about what that actually is. A lie takes you down to the lower vibrations of the ego world, ruled by separation and limitation, and its seduction of the lower world serves no one but the forces of darkness. This marker reminds you to remain in the light, even if it seems like a more difficult path. Truth will build a bridge across a chasm. Okay, so we've got the bridge. Truth will lend a magic wand of strength and integrity. Truth is freedom. Okay. Yeah, these themes coming through so strong. So this is really just, I think the thing that I'm really getting in terms of the biggest picture takeaway here is that fundamentally, we all know what it is that we truly want and desire. And in my world, like in the way that I hold this for myself, but also in my coaching practice, is that is probably an evolving conversation with yourself. Like, we may only be able to touch so much personal truth at any given time. That doesn't mean, because it may evolve and grow, that doesn't mean that your starting point is wrong. In fact, your starting point is super important. And I think this card is also asking us to be willing to just go a couple layers deeper. And again, getting connected to that golden egg energy to really discover, hey, I might have like fake desires because I think it's what I'm supposed to want. But what do I really want? And how does it feel in my body when I connect with that? Like, what is my body actually saying that I want? And how can I use my body as a bit of a lightning rod for what's true for me? And then coming back to the very beginning, being willing to take some actions and set some goals based on that cool vulnerability. All right, everyone, this was a long one, but it was a good one. I want to know what you got, what you're taking away. And as always, please let me know in the comments if this is helping you on your journey at all. I always love to hear from people. And if you're interested to get more from me, you can sign up below to receive my newsletters. I have some cool creativity courses. And also, we appear every Wednesday on West of Wonderland podcast, which you can listen to wherever you find your podcasts. All right, take good care. See you later.